Viewers and subscribers, you're welcome back again. This is BVI Channel 1, and we are on Political Review. I'm also Channel Peters. Today, on top of our stories is P2B's comments at Chattem House that is explosive. That is the trending news today. And also what is happening in Anambra State with respect to Labour Party's billboard being removed. These forms the stories we are going to be highlighting tonight on Political Review. Let us quickly, first of all, take a comment from P2B that we are actually reviewing tonight, bordering around corruption. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
And stop corruption. The first thing about stopping corruption is yourself. If you're not involved, your wife is not involved, your family is not involved, those around you are not involved, you reduce it by over 50%. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm sure, Paul, you know that. We are committed. We can't disappoint these youths. We must build a new Nigeria. And we'll deal with that. Investors will come back. Those who left, even the young people who are today living, they'll come back. We want to bring them back. Nigerians are prepared to come back if they can find that they have a country to go back to. This green passport, people must be proud to use it.
Yeah, that is our top story and the first story we are reviewing tonight, the fight against corruption. And we'll be taking the second story immediately. So when I come right back, we hit on the review for tonight's program. So you sit back there and don't touch the dial. I'll be right back after this press conference coming from Labour Party in Anambra State.
Good afternoon, good people of Anambra State and Nigeria. I am Honorable Emel Gochukwu Emmanuel, the State Chairman of Labour Party, Anambra State. I have it in good authority that the antagonism of the leadership of Anambra State government against the presidential candidate of Labour Party, His Excellency, Peter Obi, has been carried to a higher level. As I speak, the billboards that reflect the image of His Excellency Peter Obi and the other Labour Party candidates in Anambra State are being dismantled against the spirit of live and let live. Labour Party were discriminatingly stained with unprecedented charges to discourage us from projecting His Excellency Peter Obi against what was obtainable in the previous elections. We paid in obedience to government order. Our application to hoist mini billboards on the street light poles along Express Road was rejected, but it is evident that the same billboard of other candidates of other parties are hoisted on the same poles. Not even that of Apuga candidates, to say the least. One wonder why Labour Party, its presidential candidates, and other candidates of Labour Party is being recklessly punished by the leadership of Anambra State government. We condemn these punitive acts in its entirety. It is unacceptable. The good people of Anambra State, with the interest that cuts across the party affiliation, greeted the emergence of APGA candidates, APGA flag bearer, with great expectation. It was expected that the light that will culminate in achieving a common objective will be provided. Unfortunately, it is gradually becoming obvious that the expectation is largely misplaced. He must remember that someone whose pan kernel has been cracked by a benevolent spirit should not forget to be humble. It is not wrong to be ambitious, but ambition should be made of stained stuff. You do not cut the nose to spite the face. Against his calculation, I stand tall to say that this action is a deliberate act that shoots him on the foot, and by extension, other APGA candidates. It is further strengthened that it further strengthened the prospect of His Excellency Obi, Peter Obi, and the other Labour Party candidates in achieving success in this forthcoming general election. At this juncture, I call upon the good people and loving people of Labour Party and Anambra State to exercise restraint and remain calm in the face of his provocative disposition towards us. We are watching as event unfolds, and Nigerians are watching. Sometimes when you drive someone maliciously, you drive him to a better place. I thank you all for listening. God bless Anambra. God bless.
You're welcome back. This is still Political Review, and I'm also Channel Peters on BVI Channel 1. So we are talking about the statement of Mr. Peter Obi at Chattem House, talking about fighting corruption. And what he said there actually indicts majority of Nigerian political class. Yes, it indicts majority of Nigerian political class from the highest level to the lowest level. When he said that if you are not stealing, people around you will not steal. Is that true? Is that a political statement or reality on ground with respect to Nigeria specifically? And we're also looking at the thing that was read out by the Labour Party in Anambra State, talking about removal of billboards that were designated as strategic places in Anambra State. So we're going to also be reviewing political tolerance in this 2023 general election tonight on Political Review. So I have with me in the studios who are joining. Ndubisi and Enugu will be joining via the WhatsApp call, and others as well who will be joining me tonight on this review. So you sit back there while we bring them on. And don't forget that this is a live broadcast. You can be part of this program by dropping your comments. You can also be part of this program by calling the numbers +234 8104 533. And I want to say this, that to support the efforts of BVI Channel 1 and GGM in continuous political sensitization and awakeness of Nigerian people, as we've done over the years, you can be partners in progress by joining BVI Channel 1 membership forum. You can do that by clicking on membership on our page on YouTube. And with a stipend, monthly stipend, you can support this channel to continue doing what they are doing. If you love what we do, if you believe in our message, if you believe in our efforts, I think it wouldn't take you much to give your widow's mite to support and to sustain this voice. So you can do that. You can also call us after the program if you are having difficulties in subscribing as a member. To subscribe to be getting updates is free, but to subscribe as a member or as a partner to BVI Channel 1 Global Family, it's not free. That stipend you'll be dropping is your monthly stipend to encourage what we do. Now let us hit the ground running already, because I have with me on the studios already Ndubisi and Enugu. Ndubisi, are you there? Can you say hello to our viewers if you're listening?
Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening to our viewers all over the world.
All right, thank you very much. We have other gentlemen. I'll allow them to introduce themselves very briefly. Then we hit the ground running. Hello. I think
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening.
Your name, please.
Yeah, I'm Engineer Chudi Okeke Mandela from Enugu.
Okay, thank you very much, Mandela, for joining the program. You can mute yourself and let us take other people's let's take other people's intro. We have another person there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have the third person
thank you.
there.
Chinedu.
Okay, while we wait to take your introduction, we are hitting the ground running. What Peter Obi said at Chattem House that is shattering the corrupt foundation of the Nigerian political space. For Peter Obi to make that statement that if he is not stealing, his wife is not stealing, his family are not stealing, people around him are not stealing, then corruption will be diminished by 50%. Do you agree with that statement? Let me start with Ndubisi and Enugu. Ndubisi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Chinedu. Thank you, Chinedu, for your effort to be there for our people. Yeah, what Chinedu said, what P2B said today in UK is perfectly in order. You know, because if you are good, Chinedu, you are the head of this organization, you know, because you are good. Anybody working with you, anybody you recommend ought to be or is expected to be good. That is the way it works. Because you cannot be good while working with criminals around you. Chinedu, is it possible?
I don't think so.
So what P2B said is in order, perfectly in order.
Okay.
That is my position.
All right. Mandela, do you have anything to add to this?
Yes. What I have to add is that if the head is rotting, the rest of the body will also be rotting. It's all about leadership by example. It's trying to make the world understand that since he's not corrupt, his family is not corrupt, definitely his government will not be corrupt. And he's ready to fight the corruption tooth and nail. So that's my take.
Okay, so you agree that the corruption we have in Nigeria today, because it's endemic, people are really worried that the kind of corruption you have in this country is institutional, and that there is no way corrupt person can fight corruption, and corruption had become an institution in this country. And I believe that for Peter Obi to make that statement, he said he has vowed not to fail Nigerians. What if he fails? how do we hold him accountable, especially Nigerian people who are obedient, yearning for this ballot revolution? We have the third person there. I don't know if he's part of the program.
Hello, Mr. Chinedu, can you hear me?
Yeah, your intro, please.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, and the world can hear you as well. Your intro.
Okay, yeah, my name is Henry. I'm a first timer on this call. So I would say that what P2B enumerated today is spot on. You understand? For me, if you want to really show that you have what it takes to tackle corruption, you have to look back at your antecedents, where you are coming from. I think with what the guy did when he was governor of Anambra State, which basically most of all are witnesses, you can point one or two policies we're able to put in place as governor to check corruption. So this is a welcome development, but not to see the nitty-gritty, the points of how you intend to tackle this thing outside the just making the pronunciation. So I'll leave it here for now.
NWC, do you think that P2B is an angel? That he is a man without sin? And did he completely eradicate corruption during his time in Anambra State as a governor?
Thank you. My dear, nobody is an angel. Nobody is a saint. If you are looking for an angel or a saint, you go to heaven. You will see them there. We're in Nigeria, and Nigeria, the way Nigeria is composed or configured, will not even allow, not even a saint, but a corrupt free person to survive. Yeah, P2B has said several that he's not a saint and is not claiming to be one. You know, so as in question you ask, it has P2B has answered it himself. Referring to Anambra State, whether he fought corruption, I can say confidently that to a very large extent, he was able to build a system that followed due processes in doing certain things.
Okay.
Before he came in, there was nothing like process. Armed robbers hijacked every process of governance in Anambra State, that people were sharing money from source, allocation from Abuja. People were sharing it from up before it comes down. So it's a fight that P2B started, but I'm not saying that he is clean all the way, but he must have learned his lesson after his 8 year stay in Anambra State. Thank you.
All right. Now we will be moving over to the second story. I don't know if you have a reaction to that political tolerance as we are seeing in Anambra State today.
Yeah, should I go on?
Go on.
Okay. As per political tolerance, I know before now, Anambra State as a state is known to be playing clean politics. People who disagree to agree, and people with their different political ideology or belief will keep on talking to people without fighting. But during Soludo or last year's election, that last year election, that we saw one, can I say, several cases of kidnapping. People were assassinated. A Labour Party candidate was kidnapped, and up to now nobody has seen him. Apart from that, people were allowed to express their views freely politically. So, to a very large extent, Anambra State is known to be politically informed, as in they tolerate one another's opinion. People are allowed to express their views. But in the last few weeks or months, noted that government of Anambra, because of our political affiliation of political people, which is not that Labour Party fit to be political pursuit. We've noted some manipulation of statements going on here and there. Soludo is writing all sorts of things against people, which is not called for. So to that extent, political is being accommodated. And I am, as a person, calling for change of attitude and change of mind. For us to see, that is only interest that is permanent. But whatever thing we are fighting for, politics will come and go. On the thing that happened last Sunday of removing Labour Party billboards and this and that, the action is uncalled for. Even though Soludo people have tried to explain it out, but it shouldn't happen at first place. It shouldn't happen, and the government should not start imposing exploitative and cutthroat levy on campaign posters and this and that. Because we're election period, how can a governor put 10 million naira that because you are contesting for senate you should pay 10 million naira for having your I mean, this should not be. This is public space, for goodness sake, and the person is contesting for office to serve the people, not for business. The office is going in is not to do business. He's there to serve the people. We should play down on all those nonsense of government even doing it. It's just like people, if you want to talk to them, they say, how much do you have? Government that should show example, lead by example. Such things should not be more than 100,000 naira, 50,000 naira, as far as I'm concerned. So, Chinedu, let me allow others to put their views. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Okay,
Go
Mr.
on.
Chinedu, can you hear me?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, yeah. In reference to what my brother just said,
Yeah.
in the spirit of reducing cost of governance, so I'm beginning to struggle how the Soludo camp is trying to situate what they're doing in terms of the billboard thing. If a politician, like someone that is contesting presidential seats, to cough out 10 million and senatorial 7 million, so what will now be the fate of the person if eventually get into the position? We not want to, first of all, recover all the money that is spent on some of these
Expenses.
preamble. And so, even though there is need for competition or all this war of attrition, there should be sense in what we are doing, because we don't want to go back to the era of the Oba brothers, where you do politics of destruction. What we want in Anambra is the politics of development, constructive criticism, be your brother's keeper, so that at the end of the day, the interest of the state is more paramount than even our own individual interest. So I wouldn't want to overflog this, but another angle I want to bring into this is this. If government is trying to, because that's what the angle, the Soludo factor is coming from. They say they want to raise IGR, they want to do this. If you want to raise IGR, it's mostly from politicians. The other convenient means, as I think I've discussed this with my fellow brother the other day, you can use to raise money convincingly without causing all these, hooplas and noise and whatever. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So let us be in what we do. Let me just give others space to contribute. Maybe you can take it further.
Okay, Mandela, let's have your opinion on this before we proceed. Mandela, are you there? Okay, I think he's struggling with network.
All right.
Okay, Mandela, you're there. Go
Yeah.
on.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Chinedu, Chinedu, can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Okay. Talking about dismantling of a presidential candidate of Labour Party's billboards by the government of Soludo? I think that's the question now.
Yeah.
All right. Let me tell you, it is uncalled for. It is uncalled for. It's not supposed to be so. First of all, P2B is not from Edo State. P2B is not from Edo State. It's from Anambra State. So even if it's being done to other people, there must be it should be very careful. The destruction of his billboard is not the solution. Even though you want to raise the IGR for Anambra State, it's not going to start with this is a campaign period, and this is a free space and open space. It should take it easily, slowly, not by destroying people's billboards, as if P2B is a stranger to this state. This is his father's land. He's a son of the soil. So it's not, even though the government angle, they have been divulging the story. They say that Soludo did not approve it. Then I want to disagree. If Soludo does not approve it, let the government reinstall his billboards with immediate effect. It's only by so doing that I believe that the governor is innocent of this. That's my take on this.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's hard to believe actually that the government of the state did not give a nod for such billboard to be removed. If the state government is coming to make statements that is about IGR or about tax or whatever, that's why the billboards were removed. Coming at the time they are flagging off their political campaign, their national campaign. It's coming almost at the same time. The coincidence is really very suspicious that at the time
Yes.
APGA is launching their national campaign, it's about the same time billboards of P2B are being removed. So it is quite difficult for one to believe or be convinced that the state government is not aware. Okay, let's take it that he is not aware, just like Mandela had just said, that at least their statement should have reflected that. And if their statement reflects that, then their action should follow suit. That such would be addressed or redressed. They're talking or coming from the angle of NDBC, and then we talked about the issue of not NDBC, my brother, sorry,
Henry.
Yes, Henry talked about the political tolerance in respect to cost of governance, that Soludo, who is talking about, preaching about cutting down cost of governance, cutting down excessiveness in government spending, and also being prudent, that they should live by their word by not encouraging things that will escalate or promote corrupt practices. Just like P2B was saying that he's going to fight corruption from himself. If he's not stealing, others will not steal. Now, people contributed a lot of funds, made donations to sponsor campaigns. And when much money is being spent, much money is being spent to put up some of these billboards, and at a very high price, it's already escalating the cost of governance invariably, because it will reflect on the government when if eventually it wins, because all of those campaigns, all of those people who are, some of the people anyway, who have put in their money, might have done that as an investment, although majority of ordinary Nigerians like us and support groups like GGM is not being pushed by personal interest or people investing money to have a return on the investment through one political favor, appointment or contract or the other, but for the public interest, for the general good. Okay, because when the atmosphere is good, we can all operate. So when we look at this back to back, we see that political tolerance during election goes a long way to impact on fight against corruption. And corruption is the biggest problem this country is faced with. And some of you who are following or who are watching, we are going to be uploading the Chattem statement, the full Chattem statement by Peter Obi on our BVI channel 1+. You can make do with that and watch the entire statement he made. But for him to say, we just cut out this as a part of our program tonight, for him to say that if he's not stealing, his family is not stealing, then people around him will not be stealing. With that statement in the BC, is that an indictment? Is it a direct indictment on politicians in Nigeria, especially those at the executive level, from the presidency to the state government? Do you think it's a direct indictment in the BC, considering the amount of corruption we are witnessing in this country?
Yes, Chinedu. It is because from the situation you have seen across Nigeria, starting from the presidency, Buhari being in charge, we've noted that the moment he went in as the president of Nigeria, he brought in his cousins, he brought in his daughter to be a board member of Central Bank and the NNPC. He brought in his cousin to be the chief of staff. He brought in, almost everybody around him occupying sensitive positions were one way or the other related to him. He brought in MD of Custom, his old friend that doesn't have capacity, that doesn't have the training to be in that position, And that is why things are going from bad to worse every day. That is why our refineries have not been able to work after 7 and 6 months of being in power. After Buhari being the minister of petroleum himself. That is because, even though people are claiming that Buhari is Mr. Perfect, that is not corrupt. But his actions, his behaviors, his inaction, his body language, everything about him has shown that Buhari is corrupt. But people keep on saying that Buhari is straightforward, that is not corrupt. I disagree with such people, because the entire thing, everything stops at his desk. If at this point in time, Nigeria could not refine all their crude oil, Nigeria has to wait for Dangote refinery to come on board, and the fuel is being sold at 280 to 320 naira. And somebody is saying that Buhari is not corrupt. My dear, I disagree with such. So what Peter Obi said is perfectly in order. If the man of the house, the head of the family, is a decent man, he should be able to command people around him to follow suit. That is my thinking, Chinedu.
Okay, Mandela, do you agree with him? What do you say? What's your take?
I agree 100% because, like you said, Peter Obi is not a friend. For 8 years, he governed this state. For the very first time, he left a substantive amount of money in foreign currency, in dollars, in bonds, in everything. He left something in our treasury. This is an evidence that he's not a corrupt person. Nothing stops him from taking those money away. He invested on behalf of the state. He took Anambra state money. He invested in breweries, in refinery, refinery, in so many places. He invested with our money, and nothing stops him from diverting some of those investments. But he left it. He handed over to his to the new incoming governor. So his body language shows that he's not a corrupt human being. So I believe in totality that P2B is not corrupt and is going to impact on Nigerians. So this is the only opportunity Nigerians have to correct all those mistakes, because corruption in Nigeria is a foundational problem, because Nigeria, let me not go into history now, because Nigeria was founded on a faulty foundation, on a corrupt foundation. So that is why corruption is endemic. And Chinedu, are you hearing me?
Yes, the world can also hear you.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yes, Nigeria is founded on a corrupt foundation, because when Lord Lugard was trying to put this country together with his girlfriend, so they never seek the consent of other ethnic groups. They just imposed this country on us in 1914, and that's where this problem started. It is not with our own mutual acceptance. So that's why corruption is very difficult to fight, because this country was founded on a foundation of corruption. So, but with P2B coming on board, I totally believe that he's going to fight for corruption still. That is why they are trying their best to stop him, because they know that if this man comes on board, that will be the end of corruption in this country. Thank you, Chinedu.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Henry, what's your take on that? Because we'll be wrapping up from here.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, proceed.
Yeah. My elder brother P2B is saying is nothing new. The problem of power in this country is actually how to get the men of power to live for the public, not of public. So for me, the actions of men are the best interpreters of their thought. So I want to see, assuming that P2B becomes president, I want to see his pattern of appointment. Is he able to put like maybe square peg in a square hole? Do you understand? Then let me just even put it this way. We have to be very sincere with ourselves. Nobody can totally eradicate corruption. You understand? It has been proven all the time. What you can do is to be able to set up measurable targets. Like if we're on the 167 or corruption index, if you're able to move it to an acceptable point where people could see that there's a change, actually, a method, an achievement, and deliveries. Do you understand? Yeah. So corruption for me, hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Corruption for me is not what you just come and say, I will do corruption, even though he has the antecedent. So I would want him to go in first, face the circumstances there. If he's able to come out and deliver, that's when I will actually believe, even though he has an antecedent, that he can be able to do the job. So let us not just accept blindly that when he goes in, there's going to 100% eradicate corruption, because, my brother, it's not just easy. Even the Buhari will sometimes try to castigate. There has some element of decency in him. He doesn't have flair for some of this corruption you can have on the type of Tinubu and Atiku. But at the end of the day, he was so nepotic that, nepotism is the worst form of corruption. On one hand, they have imagination for sleeve and financial corruption. On the other hand, nepotism is 100% spot on that one. So you could see that corruption is a complete deal. So one has to really be strong, firm, organized, committed, show force of personal example, and live through your character for you to be able to overcome corruption. So that's the only thing I wish for P2B, and I hope and I wish him well. If he's able to succeed, let him just go there and prove his mettle. That's what I will say for now.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on this program tonight on Political Review, as we are going to take a recap on top stories we have tonight, coming from Mr. P2B at Chattem House. When I come back, I'll be wrapping it up.
We will fight and stop corruption. The first thing about stopping corruption is yourself. If you're not involved, your wife is not involved, your family is not involved, those around you are not involved, you reduce it by over 50%. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm sure, Paul, you know that. We are committed. We can't disappoint these youths. We must build a new Nigeria. And we'll deal with that. Investors will come back. Those who left, even the young people who are today living, they'll come back. We want to bring them back. Nigerians are prepared to come back if they can find that they have a country to go back to. This green passport, people must be proud to use it.
That is it. Thank you for watching this far on today's political review. Make you to join us on our next episode and other programs we are having on this platform. Matters arising, economy of the Southeast, and other inciting program, informative program that will properly inform you. You can only get that on BVI Channel 1. I still remain as Channel Peters. Till I come your way, stay blessed and stay safe at all times. Bye-bye for now. God bless you.